Hey, everybody, welcome to the Principal Cast podcast. Uh, our podcast is hosted by Teresa Stager, Jessica Johnson, and myself, Spike Cook. We have a weekly discussion where we talk about current topics in education, focusing on education leadership. There's a lot of great ways that you can contact us. We have a website, www.principalcast.com. You can email us at info@principalcast.com. Follow the hashtag PrincipalCast, or on Twitter we are at PrincipalCast. Tonight's topic, and I'm sure you've all been waiting to hear what tonight's topic is why being a principal is the greatest job in education. Some would argue in the world. So before we go into that, we'd like to start with our weekly segment of what's been happening. So we are going to attempt to contact our friend Jessica, who is out in Wisconsin having light technical difficulties. We are going to be patient with her, and we are excited to hear about what's been happening.
Week in a row, the joke here is I'm at school where there's like 158 Wi-Fi access points, yet they won't work for me when I'm the only person in the building. So I don't know what that's about. What's been happening with me? Well, I'm the district assessment coordinator, and the last week we had our state testing for middle elementary this week. So once we get done here with the podcast, I will be getting things finished up and be ready to go for another batch of state testing.
Very cool. Teresa, what's been going on in your world?
Well, I was kind of hoping you were going to go first because I was going to tag in on what you're doing, but it won't be funny now. So
No?
Not so much. We are. Let's see. We just had sorry. Once Spike starts talking about his, it'll make more sense.
You're gonna get me the giggles.
We've had a tough couple weeks. Just kind of getting things going, but we're heading into conferences this week. And last week, what did we do last week? I don't even know. We had a great. We sent our Iowa tests off, which is our standardized testing. They're gone, which was awesome to be able to celebrate. I think everything's doing well. It was just I don't know. It was a good week. There was nothing eventful.
I was going to say it wasn't eventful like it has been.
And so it's week number 9, I think, for me, 9 or 10 with the students, and nothing blew up. There were no fires. My staff is intact, so I'm calling good. What about you, Spike?
That's awesome. Well, considering the weeks that you've had, that's awesome. Because it was so funny. Like when you first decided, like, hey, let's do this, podcast, and we'll have the perspective of somebody who's just starting out, and you're asking for all these like advice on things, and it's like each time you would bring something up, we're like, we've never even heard of that. Like that's never even happened before, and you're like, oh yeah, I've been on the job just for a couple weeks, so that's been awesome. Well, I'm so sorry that I jumped ahead and let you go first, but I am doing No Shave November. So as the podcasts go on, you are going to see my beard get longer and longer. There's only a few males in my building. Of course, being an elementary school, we really don't have a lot. So we have all decided to not shave during November. So we're going to see how long everyone can last.
I wasn't shaving either. That's what I was going to share. I don't know if you can tell or not. We call it Movember.
Okay.
In Michigan, what is My husband's celebrating Movember
For
men's health. Yep, men's health awareness. So Christopher Nessie says he's also not shaving, and just so just so you know, Christopher Nessie missed your virtual hat, so he's really happy that you have your hats on.
Yeah, that's why I put the crown on.
That's great.
I'm the queen.
And Peggy George is in. She said she couldn't see the video on Firefox, so she switched to Chrome. Adobe Flash Player keeps crashing in Firefox. So.
And I just have to say, I think Movember really came about because people here in Wisconsin, it's so cold, we just don't shave so we can stay warm.
Right, that's in Michigan. It's a lot
The
like that
rest of
too.
you just had to join in.
That's right. Once it goes past the 70 degrees, because our October and November are kind of weird. It's just everybody's sick right now because we keep getting these. It's 30 degrees and then it's 70 degrees and it's a mess. So, why don't we talk about what happened for Halloween in our buildings? What did you guys do for Halloween? Because I bet it was different in all of our buildings. Spike, you had some really cool stuff.
It was, yeah. We actually had, this predates me. I've been in my building for about 2.5 years, and they have been celebrating Halloween. I talked to my superintendent the other day, who ended up going there when he was a kid, and he can remember, huge, fall festivals and Halloween frolics going all the way back when he was in elementary school. But what we did this year is we had I don't know how many Halloween frolics that they've had, but it's a night where the parents, community, students, teachers all get together, and we had a bunch of different activities going on. We had just games, kids could dress up. We had dancing. We got a DJ, and then this year we did a hayride. So we have this large field behind our school, so we created a haunted hayride, actually, and it was really cool because one of our staff members had a truck and a bed, and we put hay on there, but it's really not hay, because this has been my whole thing, and I know that the farm girls out there can understand this in Wisconsin, that what they sit on in these rides is straw, but no one likes to call it a straw ride. They always call it a hay ride. So I was telling everybody, like,
that's a really good point.
It's really, I'm like, we are creating a generation of kids who think that hay is straw, and they don't know what straw is. So, or vice versa. So it's been my pet peeve. In fact, in a lot of our things that we, like letters and flyers that we sent out to the parents, my one teacher who has heard my rants over and over, she would put in like parentheses like straw like next to the hay ride. So it was really fun though, and my kids and my wife came down, and it was great. We had over 425 people come out, just really cool, and then on Halloween, we actually had a parade around, like in the early afternoon, and there were several of my staff that were dressed up in the Wizard of Oz costumes, starting out with my one teacher who's a male. Jessica, that's not going to work. Is that what you were there for? Is that what you were for Halloween? But he
Do you
was.
not hear me? Are you ignoring me?
No, we haven't heard you.
We can hear you.
Are you kidding me? There's new features in Google Effects.
Nice.
I like the glasses.
So anyway,
My office has changed slightly.
Jeff just put in the chat room in quotation marks when principals play on Google Hangouts.
That's right. Unfortunately, they won't be able to see this if they're listening to it, Jess.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
put
They're
that
gonna
as
think
your
we're
bet.
laughing about nothing.
Yeah.
Well, nobody
good
can
reason to
hear me. I
download
might as well have
A
fun.
good reason to download the video.
So anyway, Jessica, what happened to you during this past week with Halloween and?
Oh, like with what? Hold on, let me get this background off. I don't know how to get it back off now. There we
We
go.
have a background too.
Yeah, but it didn't work. Did you see I was blurring in and out?
No, I was in the chat room.
Ooh, I'm in Italy.
Venice.
Except it doesn't
There's
work.
a boat in your head.
Okay. Yeah, was cool for a minute there. Years ago, kids wore costumes, but many of our teachers actually wanted to get rid of that just because of either kids having violent costumes or some not having any and feeling bad. So for several years, we just had a fall festival in the afternoon, but we had really gotten we didn't do anything. Classrooms had like a half-hour party in the afternoon, and that was about it. Nothing exciting here.
How about you, Teresa?
It's pretty much what we do. We have being in a Catholic school. It's a little bit different, although it's a lot like what Jess is mentioning. It's no violent costumes. We do have the kids have parties, but they're more fall harvest parties. They're still Halloween, but not as focused on Jess is a puppy or a kitty. Oh no, she's
No, Movember.
Movember.
Oh, there you go.
I'm joining
Sorry.
Spike with Movember. I got a mustache and a beard.
Nice. So it's it's more. Oh, am I freezing too? No. Okay. So it's more puppies and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles without any swords and nothing mystical, magical, anything like that. But it was a good time. Preschool had a parade at the beginning of the day, and kindergarten, first grade had a parade in the afternoon. They all had their parties, and it was a good day.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that leads us into, these are the type of things that we can do, as principals and have fun with this kind of stuff, which kind of led us to basically tonight's topic, which is, how we feel like this is the greatest job in the world, because you get a chance to do all these different things, and not to mention all the instructional things that are going on. So, I guess why don't we start out with you, Jessica, and talk a little bit about why you feel like this is the greatest job, because obviously you've been doing it for a while and you still like it. You still keep showing up every day and night.
Me? Can you hear me?
We can now.
You can now. Okay, thanks for not saying that I'm your elder. I was at a principal's meeting earlier this week, and they said, Jessica, you're the elder principal of the group. I'm getting a little sick of hearing that.
She's actually the youngest of the three of us.
Yeah, I am the youngest, so don't call me
Not by much, but by enough.
Okay, so the question was, what do you love about your job? I love everything. There is not a dull moment. Every day is totally different. You never know what can happen. It's always exciting. I love, Spike, I have to admit I didn't read your post. I'm sorry. So I know you had a list.
And now she's freezing because she didn't.
And I'm freezing, so it doesn't matter what I say anyways. Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. When I first started becoming a principal or decided to move into this role, I was an instructional coach, and I could not believe helping teachers and see the impact that they were having in their classrooms. So it's like multiplying the impact you can have on students. So I just love that every day. I love getting to hang out with the kids at lunch, play kickball, foursquare, be the referee at Lightning because our fifth graders have poor sportsmanship.
Yes.
All kinds of things. I don't know if you're looking for something majorly inspirational.
No, we were just looking for you to get through an entire sentence without freezing.
I know. Did that happen?
No.
No. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to not talk, and I'm just going to do, I'm going to use the Google Effects sound. So next up.
Sounds good.
I obviously can't participate in this chat.
Oh my goodness. Jess, let me see. Jess, Peggy says, I don't know if you're following along in that. Wow, they're going crazy in here. I swear. Oh, you're all right. Sure. Yeah, Craig, Jess is wired in. We're not really sure what the issue is going on with there. She was wired. I think she might be on her iPad now, but either way.
No, I'm not.
No, are you wired in right now?
I'm going to wire in, but that didn't make a difference before.
Yeah, it really didn't. So we'll have to see about that. The other day, one of the people who was on the hiring committee for me had asked me how it was going, because I was really excited the first couple weeks, and they were always checking in to make sure this was, because we moved and the kids are in a new school and a new building, and so they said, after 8 weeks and everything that's happened, 8-9 weeks, is this still? I said, you can never have a bad day in an elementary school. You just can't. I feel like it has to be the best job ever, because no matter how bad the day is, I can walk across the hall to the preschool room, and you just can't be sad when you're in the preschool room. You just can't. They come every day. They walk They come outside after their naps. The teacher wakes them up after naps at 2:45, and they're only the kids who stay there for the afternoon. So there's like 10 or 11 of them, and they're all boys, including my son. And they come out and they walk past the office, and they all go into the bathroom, and they all use the restroom, and then they go and they line up on the wall. And it's my favorite part of the day because I walk outside at like 2:51 when they're all lined up against the wall, and they all have their tired little faces, and their cheeks are all flushed, and they're just looking at you, and they all want hugs when they come out, and it's the best part of the day. And how can you not have a great day when you're in a place like that? You know?
How do you not?
I got how can you not? Say that again, Jeff.
Sorry. Doesn't matter.
It's just so great. It's so great. And Spike, you tell us about your post. Tell us about the reasons why you think that being the principal is the best job in the world.
It's funny because most of the stuff that I thought about afterwards, I had left off. I kind of put like a lot of the serious stuff on there, like like you're basically responsible for a learning environment. You see kids make connections. You're working with teachers, parents, community. There's a lot of cool things. Like it's a very diverse job. Like we never really have the same type of day. But the things that I thought about actually when I was putting my son down to bed was like the fun stuff, like I don't know about you guys, but like every Friday, we dress down so you could wear jeans to work. I'm sure that's a little different, with the, being the Catholic school, but
we do it on Monday.
On Monday,
but
that's
it's
right.
The same. Yep.
Same thing. So, and I think the reason why I actually thought about all this is because I remember when I first got this job and I was talking with somebody who had been in education for like 35, 40 years, and he was telling me that his favorite position ever was when he was a elementary school principal. He went over all these things, and it's so funny because a lot of times with principals it's like you kind of work to get to this position, and then you start getting faced with, okay, so do I continue to climb the ladder and try to become an assistant superintendent or a superintendent, or if you're in elementary school, do you go to be in a middle school or high school? And and I certainly think about all those things, but especially when I'm asked about that, I always think, well, I don't think I would right now because this is like the greatest job in the world. Like I am encouraged to play kickball with the kids, and I'm encouraged to play basketball or soccer or whatever the kids are doing. Last year, my music teacher, I had a music teacher actually that was filling in. I think this was the year before, and he and I were talking, and I said, I was never in the middle school band or in an elementary school band, and I have no idea how to play any instruments. So he was like, okay, why don't you join the band? And you come to like our rehearsals and stuff. I know. I thought about you, Teresa. So all I had to do was play, and I actually did a post on this called Symbolism, because I had to play the cymbals. And all I had to do was, and it was so funny because like I was standing next to this girl, and she was like, Dr. Cook, all you have to do is read this, and that's when your part comes in. And I'm looking at her like, this looks like another language to me. I have no idea what you guys are talking about here. She started laughing. So she would have to like bump me when it was my turn to play, and then I would go. All I had to do was go shh, whatever that is, a cymbal roll or something like that.
Yes. We had, when I was in school, just to jump on that, when I was in high school, our assistant principal played the clarinet in high school, and he would come down every day. We had 3 assistant principals and our main principal, and our assistant principal, Dr. Ivansky, I will never forget, he came down every day and played clarinet with us.
Oh, that's so cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
See, I wish I knew how and like I could actually participate, but I made it like a fun thing. So like it was like they were teaching me. And I'll tell you what, the night that we had the concert, I was really nervous because I went out there, I was introducing the music teacher at the time, and then I ran up on stage, and I'm standing there, I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this, So then you know, and then since then, the music teacher, she was out on maternity leave. She's gotten me in a couple things. She had me in a part where I had some speaking parts, and I had to do, and I wish I knew what it was called, but it was like, it was set up for, all I had to do was crash cymbals, and I kept getting it wrong, and I had to go out into the crowd, and
Oh, yeah.
do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I've seen that.
Crash cymbal A or
Yes.
something like that.
Yes,
You know,
it's
she's going to kill me that I don't know
Yes.
this.
Yes.
So she was like, "Oh, this is perfect for you." So I was literally like crashing cymbals out in the you know, the audience and stuff, and that was encouraged through the part. So, you know, it's like this kind of stuff where it's like, how could, like you said, how could you not like that? And the fact that, Teresa, you say like, "Oh, I remember when I had a vice principal who did that," you know, like what kind of impact does that have on you to like, that's the kind of principal I could be, you know?
That, yeah, it was huge. And he, I mean, it was so, he would come to all of our marching band rehearsals, and even not as a principal, but this is something that I always share. The mayor of Detroit that we had a little bit ago, not the one that was in jail, the other, the one before him that was really awesome. He played in the marching band at Wayne State, which is where I did my undergrad, and our marching band, just, you know, we're a Division II school, very small school, and he came, our marching band was like 16 people. I mean, we're talking really, really little. But he would come every Saturday and come and play the bass drum in the stands with the marching band, because he did that when he was in college and he loved to do it. And those are things like Robert Abney in the chat room says, it falls nicely into other duties as required.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. That's so, it just really makes you as a leader know what you want to be like.
Yeah, and for me it was challenging to get into like the music end of things, because I'm naturally like an athlete. So like when I first started there, I played pickup basketball with the kids all the time. I organized like at one point, like it was like five fifth graders versus me in a basketball game. The whole school's watching. It was towards the end of the year. It was so much fun, you know.
Yeah.
And then like when I started following other principals like Jessica and Kurt, who talk about like going out and playing with the kids and stuff, I was like, oh, this is cool, and it's encouraged, you know. But to get into like the music end of it was really, you know, a big step for me. But I also wanted to show the kids and the community and the parents and stuff that this is something that we value. So I don't know if I'm going to be singing next or whatever. Maybe I need to draw something. I don't know. Jessica, well, let's. What do you think about that? Have you ever had to, or have you ever you know, joined in with the band or something like that?
Well, if you can hear me,
we can. And now we can.
no, you can't.
Now we can.
You can. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. I was a band geek, so I have joined in sometimes. In summer school, I brought my guitar and joined in on the summer school guitar class.
Oh, fun.
That's cool.
I joined in on art. I made my own clay chalice in there with the fourth graders. However, I will say the one time that I was in there for Jackson Pollock art, if you don't know what that is, it's basically like
with
paint.
Right.
I was
splashing around
all over the floor, and they're like sloshing their paint around it. And I was in the corner like, I will just wait here until the end of the period when everything is cleaned up, because I was not dressed appropriately, and I literally hid in the corner until they were all done. They had total fun with it though. But all of those things. You know, when people have asked me like, oh, what are you going to do next? Are you going to be a superintendent? Or I'm like, no way. Like, this is so much fun. There's no way I would go and do all that businessy, financy, way, and it doesn't look like much fun. I like my job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you're right, because when they come to visit, like our assistant superintendent, business administrators, you know, superintendents, they all say the same thing. Like, they're like, I just really miss it. Like, I miss the kids. Like what you were saying, Teresa, like when the kids come up and they hug you, you know, and that kind of stuff. Like, it's really, and I feel like you can make it like an impact. And I know it sounds like corny and cliche, but like the school that I'm at is there's about 320 kids. I know a lot. I don't know all of them, but I know a majority of them. The parents I'm starting to become more familiar with being in the community, and it's really cool, as opposed to, I give a lot of credit to those principals who are, in charge of 1,000 students and stuff like that. Like it must be a different thing, but
Right.
to have that connection is really cool.
Okay,
It
I have
is.
to add one more piece here. Sarah in the chat room said their principal takes off holidays and special events.
I saw that. How horrible.
What did she say? We missed that, Jess.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes.
me? Okay, if you haven't figured this out, when it's party time, when it's class party time, and I don't know how your building works, but they have a time limit in my building at the end of the day. From each room, best. That's a perk.
That's
You didn't
true.
hear me, did you?
I
Did
got so many treats for Halloween.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But you know what we did? My secretary and I have a deal that that whenever we get too many treats, because when you've got every child in the school just about bringing you a treat, and I had this when I was a music teacher too, because you've got 600 kids in the school. There's a birthday every day, and they all want to bring you something, which is
Right.
fantastic. What do you do with all those treats? Because you can't eat them all. So I used to give them to our custodian because she loved cupcakes. But now what we do, my secretary and I leave them on the table in the staff room, and when the girls at the end of the day come to do prayer, our 8th graders come and they do prayer at the end of the day, they get to take any of the treats that are on the table.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like their
Yeah.
perk for coming in to do prayer at the end of the day.
Yeah, I always take them because I feel
Yeah.
like if I don't take it, it's kind of rude,
Yeah.
and a lot of times they're so happy, like
They
you
are.
said.
They're so excited to give it to you. Like they made the trip down there just to give it to you. And I ended up getting these. There's a site called moo.com, like a cow goes moo.com.
Mhm.
And they do printing, like Vistaprint kind of, but they have different things and they're pretty cool. And there is a little packet, it's like a business card size packet, and they make stickers.
Mhm.
And the stickers are square, and there's 6 or 8 on each little page. And so I got our school crest on these stickers, and I give them to the kids when they bring us a treat. And they're
that's
like,
cool.
oh, that's so cool. Like, I thought at first, I was like, they're going to think this is totally corny, but the little kids think it's awesome. So
So
that's
what do
kind
you
of the thing. They
what
come
do you
in-
do with the stickers, Teresa?
I just give them to them. Like, they bring me a treat, and I give them a sticker, and they put it on themselves. And so they think it's so cool because now they have this sticker, and it's
Mhm.
advertising too, because now they're going home, they've got these stickers on. So, but they totally dig it. But it's the same thing. It's like, well, if they come and they bring you a treat, they're so excited to give it to you. You can't tell them no.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really fun. I can send you I can send you a picture
Yeah.
of what the stickers look like. They're super cute, and they're little squares. They're probably not bigger than a quarter.
Mhm. Yeah, when I first started, I was going to be giving everyone like cards and stuff like that. But right now we have like a birthday pencil thing, so they get their name
Right.
called in the beginning of the day, and they come down and get their birthday pencil. But the other thing that I was thinking about, like I remember being in my interview, and you talked about this earlier, Teresa, like the things that you say in your interview or what people do like when they follow up. And I remember one of the questions that was asked with me is like, what type of building do you want to run? And immediately I thought to myself, well, I want to run a fun building. Like I want it to
Yeah.
be fun. So I never realized what I was signing up for. Like the building that I have has such a history of really being a fun place to work. I mean,
Good.
pranks and all kinds of stuff that they do to each other. I mean, it is just and sometimes it's like even at the verge of like over the top. For instance. Last week or the week before, it was our literacy coach's 40th birthday, and we just put 40 all over, her office, and found pictures and put pictures all around the school, and then a couple of people took like toilet paper and just like wrapped everything in her office and stuff. And then the following week, it was our one of our first year teachers, who's a gym teacher, and she has her own office, and it just got, I mean, it was part, I think, initiation, and part, it was her birthday, and it just got like destroyed, and she loved it. Like, she just thought it was the coolest thing, and then tomorrow, I know anyone has like a milestone birthday, they're always like, they need to look out in our building. And one of our aides has her 50th birthday tomorrow, and everyone's like really gearing up for that, which stinks, because in January I have a 40th birthday, and I know that it's going to be, on me, because when I turned 39, they tinfoiled my entire office. Like, they literally wrapped tinfoil around my phone, around my table, around my chair. I mean, it was everywhere. In my bathroom, I looked, and like the toilet was tinfoiled, and the mirror was tinfoiled. Every picture they took off the wall, they put a tinfoil on it, and they put it back on the wall. I mean, it is just ruthless there.
That's awesome. You know what? I got kicked out of the chat somehow. Oh, now I'm back. Okay. Christopher Nessie asked a question in here as we were talking about things that we're doing with teachers, with parents, with staff, and with the kids. And he said, there's nothing better than a school with high teacher morale. How do you keep morale up and still get the job done? Does high morale lead to the job getting done? I'm going to add something to that really quickly, and Robert put something in there too. Better morale equals teachers looking forward to coming to work, and it's hard to go wrong with that, and I think that's totally true. When I was a teacher, when I was still teaching, I was on I was the head of the school improvement committee, and we had gone through an accreditation, and it just was brutal. It was just, you've got 45 teachers and 600 students, and it's just hard. And I think what I started doing as a teacher, I went through and I started sending anonymous handwritten thank you notes to my teachers. That, because I was the music teacher, so I knew everybody and I knew things that they were doing, but they didn't necessarily have, know my handwriting that well. So I would send anonymous notes to them, thanking them for something that they either did on the committee, thanking them for something they were doing in their classroom, something that the kids came to me and told me was really fun and exciting, just pretty much giving them a thank you for doing their job the way that they were doing it. And it was really cool to see, because I didn't put a name on it. Nobody knew who they were from except my principal. And so it was really neat to kind of see the excitement, that they were being noticed for doing these things that are above and beyond, because we don't always do that, sometimes even in passing, but to have someone take the time out to handwrite a card or handwrite anything, just a little note that says, I noticed what you're doing, it's really cool, and it's making our school better. It was very neat, and it was a quick way. I wrote like 4 of them a day, and I just dropped them in there, and it was really a good way to know.
Yeah, I've tried a couple different things. In fact, when Angela Myers, I watched her YouTube video on You Matter, so I tried that for a little while. I tried all different types of recognition. And it's funny because sometimes recognition had the reverse effect, where it was like teachers really have at least in my building, I found that teachers have a tough time with being recepted in front of their peers.
Yeah,
and then there's a whole thing that goes along with that. So they really didn't like that. They didn't really like the recognition, which is interesting, because one of our walkthrough items that we look at is recognition for students, and there's usually no problem with that. Like, kids are getting recognized, and we have a bunch of different things. But for teachers to get recognized officially, it really wasn't something that they were into. And then I also tried to do like different things for them, like as far as motivational stuff, like to cover their classes. And I would get to some teachers and they were like, that's okay, I don't even want you to cover my class. Like, and it wasn't a morale thing. It was just, I don't know. I don't really know. I can't really put my finger on it. But I think in order to develop a morale, which I think it's always relative. So you have some teachers that are there, for different reasons. So I think as the principal, I think what our job is to really highlight the things that people are doing. I think social media plays a big role in that, like, through Twitter, through Facebook, through blogs. I think you can highlight the great things that are going on, and to make sure that everybody is participating in it. But I'm not exactly sure what it is. I can't put my finger on it, like why our climate and culture of our staff is so good. Yet I'm not doing a lot of the things that most people would say. Well, you have to do this, you have to do that. I don't really have we don't have a sunshine committee. It's more organic, the stuff that goes on. And I also think that we benefit from having a few people, on staff who are really funny and kind-hearted and leaders. And what they do is they set the tone for others.
True.
And one of our quotes in our school is, "You have to be crazy to work here." So maybe it's just always been that way. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I've done a few different things too. Like we had kudos awards where people staff meeting. I'd start out, by reading a few of those off, and then I would draw one where they would get the VIP parking spot. However, nobody wanted to actually use it. But I think they enjoyed writing the VA. I've done a few things over the years, and I just can't think of what they are. When it comes to fun, Spike, we've got some teachers that play pranks on each other, too. I love whoever, they put random things in mailboxes. Somebody took a little farm. I thought that was genius. Don't give me any more mail. I love that one. We've got some really big Packers. What do you call the big full-size?
The whatever. Oh, like a picture or a
the whole
sign?
big full-size cutout. We've got a couple Packers in our building, and they'll end up in different
That's fun.
of the school, especially the non-Packers fans. They like to, hang out in their rooms for fun. But we also, one tradition that office with me, and at the end of the day, I get on and talk about how we've been working hard this week, learning, having fun, and we're going to celebrate. And a few students from whatever class, they come up and share something like, I'm proud that I got 19 out of 20 on my spelling test. Cool in the gang, and everybody dances out in the hallways to end our week. So that's really fun.
That's pretty cool.
There are some really fun things happening in the chat room right now. Kim, okay, if you guys can just stop typing for 1 second, because every time you type it goes away. Let's see. There was a really funny one that Kim. Thank you for not typing, all of you. Kim Morrison says, we have a fun Friday one time a month. Teachers participate in fun activities, Easter egg hunts, Halloween stations in the gym, Jeopardy game on fun facts. They get to dress down if they participate. It builds staff morale through having fun together. They have a chance to win a special parking pass if you participate in our article, read and comment on an article. You're entered in a chance to win the spot. It creates a little competition based on reading a professional article and commenting on our learning. That's a really good idea. Chris Nasi says, hang a sign above the door leaving the mailbox area that says, teach like a champion today. Peggy George says, we had a cheer team called the Orangeines and the Orangettes. Oh,
sorry, it was me.
Jess! And both male and female teachers always prepared special cheers for the opening staff meeting of the year to welcome new teachers. Kimberly Morrison says you'd be surprised how much fun you can have for the simple loot of a candy bar, or the principal having to wear a clown nose for the day. Craig doesn't believe that there are non-Packer fans in Wisconsin.
Oh, there are. We just have it.
Peggy says she loves the dancing in the hallway, and much, much earlier that I actually forgot to add was Craig wants to know, most importantly, Spike, did you win the basketball game?
I did win the basketball game, okay. Yes. And I also was so sweaty afterwards that I had to, because I live like 45 minutes away.
Right.
And I think I had something going on that night, and I had to go to like one of my teachers' houses to her family and like get a shower and stuff. It was pretty funny. But it's funny. Like I was thinking about like some of the official stuff that goes on, and I think part of it is to, as the principal, just making sure that and you connect. Like if you're talking about morale, and you're talking about like knowing people and the ability to allow them to talk with you, I think also builds morale too. I always say that I cannot pay you more, but I can work with time.
That's right, and you can create a good environment to work in.
And I think that's extremely important, when people have tests that they have to do, or they have to leave early, right. Things like that. I'm very, very flexible with that, and I think just being happy and just trying to, connect with everyone really helps. But it's hard to quantify.
It's true. As we are coming up on our final segment here, Peggy gave us this ABCs of being a principal that she mentioned that we could use as a job description. And so I wanted to just, if you haven't gotten a chance to open it yet, I wanted to share C with you, the C of ABCs. And it is the crime solver, weighing the evidence, contemplating clues, and catching culprits. Also, custodian, crisis manager, communicator, crossing guard, class list maker, cafeteria worker, character builder, compliment giver, community involver, commitment keeper, catalyst and change agent, complaint department manager, collaborator and consensus builder, customer service manager, crowd control expert, curriculum leader, cafeteria worker, and chief cheerleader.
Nice.
Yes. So those are some of the things that are on that list. So it's a good one. I tweeted it out. So be sure to jump in, and let's go ahead and jump into our principles to follow, so that we stick with our 45-minute time limit or time thing that we've tried to promise. So Spike, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Okay. The person that I picked this week her name is Daisy Dyer, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name, to be honest with you, but it's Duerr. She is a principal in Arkansas. I met her at EduCon last year. She's very active on Twitter. She moderates the Arkansas chat. She does a lot of work in the SAT chat every Saturday. And her blog is really good. It's Daisy, DAISYDER.com, and she's just a very positive person, and it's very interesting because she works in rural Arkansas. So if you ever want to get a different take on things, she's definitely someone to connect with. And on Twitter, she is. I think you're going to ask that. She is at.
It's her name, I think.
Yeah, I think it's at.
I just tweeted it out.
You tweeted out. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So just follow that. Okay, Jessica, let's give it a shot. Maybe you can.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay, I was going to say also to follow up on Daisy, I listened to her interview on the Edu All-Stars podcast, and she is funny with a really southern accent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on.
No, you can't hear me?
There we go.
Okay, Justin Bader. He's no longer an active principal, but he runs theprincipalcenter.com. And he has blog posts all the time that great. So I would definitely follow him. His Twitter handle is @eduleadership, And then his website is theprincipalcenter.com.
Awesome. And oh, sorry, what was that, Jess? All right. Sorry, Jess. And my principal I did hear the sigh. My principal to follow is Scott Friedman. He's an elementary principal from Washington, and his Twitter handle is @IrishScott. I've tweeted that out as well. He is a great resource. He's got a ton of information he sends out. Lots of good stuff. Oh, and Melinda Miller says that she and Scott will be, hold on, let me pull it out, that she and Scott will be doing a collaborative project with their schools this winter. So Melinda Miller and Scott Friedman will be doing a project together. So Melinda, hopefully you'll be able to give us updates on how that's going. That's great.
Very cool. Well, sorry that we didn't hear all of Jessica, but we promised that by next week we're really going to have to work that audio out for her because she has a lot of cool things to say. But we really thank everybody for coming out tonight and then also listening to the podcast. You know that we are committed to making sure that principals like the ones that we suggest to follow or talk about or reference are making the entire profession better, and that's why this is one of the greatest jobs in the world. I want to thank Jessica Johnson. She is at Principal J. She has an awesome blog, www.principalj.net, and Teresa Stager, who is www.principalstagger.blogspot.com, and on Twitter she is at Principal Stagger. And we also recommend TeacherCast for everything that you're going to need as far as social media, blogs, resources, podcasts. He is at TeacherCast on Twitter, and he has an awesome site for blogging and podcasting at www.teachercast.net.
Thank you so much to the whole audience who is here in force every week. This is really a great learning community of people, and it really, really makes this show so much better because there's even more information coming from all of you, and we are so happy that you're here with us. So thank you very, very much. Christopher Nussi says JJ rocks along with the Staggermeister and the Good Doctor. And Craig Yen has hashtag better together.
Hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, just if you're going to call her the Staggermeister, my maiden name is Jaeger, so I was Jägermeister.
Oh my goodness.
That is amazing.
Just had to add that in.
Why did you ever change it?
Seriously. Oh, that was amazing. Thank you.
All right, Teresa, thank you. Jeff, they're all yours.